Hello, I'm Dr. Karen Raymond, and this is our fourth video in a series on self-care. In the first video, I introduced the topic of self-care and outlined a little bit of when we need self-care. In the second video, I really explored stress in a little more detail. And then the last video was if self-care, is it necessary or is it selfish? So if you haven't checked out those two videos, or three videos, I will have those linked above or in the description box below so you can easily get to those and review those as well. Today's topic, we are going to talk about what is self-care. We'll talk about a little bit of aspects of ways to take care of the whole self. So we know that self-care, it's not about avoidance or escape. It isn't ignoring or neglecting our responsibilities. So really then, what is self-care? Self-care is individual ways or actions that help to decrease or help cope with stress in ways that are nurturing to ourselves. These help to restore a sense of balance or get us to a more healthy state of that centeredness or calm. It's the things that really help us to renew our energy. Self-care is very unique to the individual. So what works for one person may not necessarily work for everyone. The key is to really figure out what works the best for you. We know that our bodies give off signals when we're stressed. So you really need to work on learning what your stress signals are. What do they look like? What do they feel like? Where do you feel them in your body? When you have that awareness of your own particular aspect of what your signals are, then you will know what to look for so you can start with the de-stressing or self-care earlier, and then you can also look for ways that may help reduce the stress and bring about that calm. Some of the signals that many people may experience is tight muscles, tension or headaches. You can have increased heart rates or blood pressure. You can really have the feelings of just an internal pressure or a mental pressure. You can also feel very overwhelmed, or you can be very overbusy. Those are some of the symptoms. Think really hard on when you are feeling stressed. Where do you feel that in your body? How is your thinking? How is your sleeping? So really examine as many areas as you can. To address how our bodies let us know we're in stressful situations and then working along with that to reduce the stress. Notice where you feel that stress in your body. Do you feel the tightness in your shoulders? Are you sitting scrunched up? Are you leaning forward? So that may be just to recognize throughout your day that I need to take a deep breath, roll my shoulders back, and then relax. That physical step can be very helpful. If we are feeling restless or jittery, that might mean a cue for us to stand up and walk down the hall, go to the restroom, get a beverage to help rehydrate us, give us a timeout so we can then step back in. I think it can be really helpful to focus on self-care through 4 different aspects. And I'm going to say that is the head, the heart, your health, and your hearth. So that really covers your mind, soul, body, and your space. And I think these 4 aspects or these pillars can really help be a guiding tool to move towards a better overall self-health. First, I want to start off with the head or your mind. Self-care in this it's regarding our headspace, what's going on in our brains. We can do things, for example, like reading or meditation, or mindfulness practices. We can learn new things and we can set healthy boundaries. Those healthy boundaries can be things like limiting social media time, having a specific bedtime, having boundaries in our relationships. That can look very different. But these are the things that we do in regards to what is helpful for our mental health and well-being. The next aspect is our heart. And this, I say heart, but it really is referring to your soul. And these are those self-care actions that help to ground us and to replenish us. These are things like spending time in nature, or having our prayers, or having that deep connection with other people. Sometimes when you're visiting in nature, if you visit oceans or mountains or other places, even if you have to do that virtually, that can really have such a big impact on our mind. Gratitude or thankful practices, dreaming and imagining, all of these things that are just really good for our heart or good for our souls, that helps us become more healthy in that aspect. The third aspect is our health, or things that focus on our bodies. It's the focus on the physical things. Examples of this would be exercise, walking, taking a bath or a shower, massage, skincare, eating well, drinking water, or just routines that help us in our everyday life. Anything that has a real focus on our body or our physicality. And the fourth is the hearth, or our space. This is the focus of the things that are around us, or our environment. This can mean cleaning or decluttering, decorating, or having candles or essential oils, incense, things that engage our senses, things that engage our sight, our smell, our hearing, our touch. So having those types of focus can really be beneficial. When you look at all four of these pillars together, it can help have a really good balance to look at self-care in the many different aspects. So what may work at one point for one particular stressor may not necessarily be something that will help you in all of them. So when you use the four different aspects in reference to self-care, I think that can be very helpful and beneficial when you are trying to look at different aspects of your own self-care. For example, if you are feeling very stressed and overwhelmed at work, you may be able to think about what are some ways to de-stress your head or your mind. What can you do? Would that be reading new things, learning new things about your job, setting healthy boundaries with either work or relationships that you do have at work? How could you have that aspect regarding your heart or your soul? Is this something that you need to find gratitude or thankfulness practices that in reference to your work? Could you imagine or dream about what that next step will be, or where your career may be going? To focus on your health and your body. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you hydrated enough? Are you eating well? And then from your hearth or your space aspect, like maybe you can declutter your desk or keep that cleaned. Maybe that is a better way of organizing. You might be able to have some essential oils or something that is cozy or that brings some type of comfort to you or stress reduction to you in the workplace. So when you look at those four different aspects, it's a way that you can try different things to have an impact on your overall stress health. Makes a statement in her book, Codependent No More, and the quote is, "Self-care is an attitude that says, I am responsible for myself." Taking that responsibility is paramount in having that focus on the control, that you are able to step in and do something about the situations. Even though you may not be in control of everything, you can control your response to them. When you focus in on some of the different aspects, you can impact the other areas or those other pillars as well. So the idea is really to work on self-care in all areas to help to decrease your stress and to increase that balance and that calmness within. Some other examples of self-care, it might mean a clean space. That can really be very helpful and beneficial to a lot of people. There are a couple of YouTubers that I really enjoy watching. One is Dawn from The Minimal Mom and Cass from Clutterbug. They talk a lot about decluttering and minimizing some of the things or keeping things organized. And a lot of times that can really help out in a lot of reduction in stress. When you have less things to manage, then that can create a calm space and a calm place for you to enter. There's a lot of research that supports that your stress levels can go up when you come into a very cluttered, disorganized, and full space. So looking to doing some of those habits, that can be very helpful. Check out some of their wonderful videos. I can put their links below so you can get to their stuff as well, if that may be something that could be beneficial for you. Another thing is to get dressed and ready for the day. If you work from home or if you're confined to home, it doesn't mean that you have to or need to stay in your PJs or your comfies all day long. It really does wonders for you, and it helps to set the tone for your day, and this can really help to stave off some of those depressive thoughts. It can really help you feel like you have an intention and purpose, and that you're ready to take on the day. The Fly Lady, I can also put a link to her YouTube channel below. One of her tenets that she says is that you get dressed to shoes every day, regardless of whether you're working inside the home or outside the home. Another example is being intentional, and that is to do something to feed your soul. This might mean that you read your Bible, the Torah, or your other doctrine, principles, prayer, journaling, meditation. When you engage into these things intentionally, that is what may help to fill your cup. And when we can have something that is pouring into us, then we have those resources that we are able to pour out into others. Another thing that I am a very strong advocate on is routine. And routines can mean that you leave work at work. It can give you an opportunity to process the day. It can help you recharge. It can help shift your focus. And it can help you transition from work to home or from home to work if that's what's necessary. Routines, I think, are great for adults as well as children. If you have a routine that you follow in the morning, whether that is the time that you get up, washing your face or fixing your hair, taking your shower, to getting dressed, to having your breakfast, your coffee or your tea, to getting out the door. A bedtime routine, which may include tidying up at the end of the day, taking a bath, changing into your night clothes, a little bit of downtime from screens, maybe some reading or relaxation music, turning the lights down, and getting to bed. All of these things are those cues to help you get ready to go to sleep. Routines are wonderful. It helps to de-stress because it takes off that worry of what is next, or that wonder of what do you need to do, because it is something that is comforting, it is known, it is a routine. So I'm a big fan and an advocate of routine. Another example is just dreaming or imagining. We played a lot as children, and playing really helps to unleash that creativity within us. It allows you to disengage from the reality in the moment, and that can keep you going through the day. So don't be afraid to dream, whether that's dreaming of new jobs or new places to visit, or what you might do if you won the lottery. Sometimes, the dreaming is the best thing because it can allow for that creativity and it doesn't really cost anything. Self-care really can be anything that doesn't cause or increase your stress level, like vacations or hobbies or games that you play. Self-care is important when it helps to reduce the stress. It helps restore calm and allows and enhances our abilities to keep being present in positive ways. Self-care is creating these healthy habits to support us physically and mentally and within our lifestyle. Thank you for tuning in today. In the next video, I will talk a little bit more about the helping professions and self-care, so join us for that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. When you do this, it helps my channel grow, and it will give you a notification of when I'll release the next videos. A thumbs up or a comment is also helpful and appreciated. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to join you on the next video, and until that time, take care.